What's up, Joyce? Good, the wise one. What's up, Derek? Nope. Never let a good tragedy go to waste. You heard me? Never let a good tragedy go to waste. Look, y'all. It's gonna be quick. So it's funny. The shit that I have been observing over the last few days, regarding this Nipsey Hussle thing. Okay? Now, I've seen a lot of platforms, a shitload of platforms, where people are just taking this Nipsey Hussle death and running with it. But, you know, that's the society that we live in today. If it bleeds, it what they call that in the newspapers? If it bleeds, it's something. It leads. Well, the same is apparently true for social media moneymakers. And you know, it's kind of crazy how that works, because yeah, if it bleeds, it leads. It's funny how that works, because 90% of these people whose platforms are talking about Nipsey Hussle every 20 seconds, I've never seen them talk about Nipsey Hussle before the death. With all the great work that he's been doing, I've never seen anybody talk about that before he died. You know, and I get it. I get it. You're a news reporter or whatever the case may be. You know, a lot of these cats are claiming to be news reporters and all this other shit. Yeah, there was a stampede. You know, and that's another thing I have to talk about at some point. YG showed up to show love and pay homage and respect, and these Crip niggas is getting mad about it. That's a whole nother story, though. So, you know, I've never seen, you know, they talk about the work he's done after he's dead, and they want to talk about his death, and then they want to mention how he was doing such great things for the people. It's interesting how that works nowadays, especially since, you know, I'm from LA, and Nipsey is well known in the streets. I've known about the things he's done for the last 10 years. He's been making moves for the last 10 years. He was selling his albums for $1,000 a piece. You understand? It was a marketing strategy that did well for him, and people were doing it. People were buying his album for $1,000. Okay, and there's more to it than that. But he revolutionized the music industry. He did it all independent. You know what I'm saying? 100% independent. And that shit with Atlantic, that was a partnership. Just so he can have a little bit of a cash injection for his Victory Lap album to be on point. What's up, Stacy? But, you know, I never heard anybody talk about that. I've been on this shit for 10 years. Never heard anybody talk about all the revolutionary things that Nipsey Hussle has done. But now that he's dead, everybody wants to find all kind of ways to talk about his death. You know, I talk about it. I've talked about it because I was pretty close. Now I wasn't close to him, but I know people that were close to him. I know people that hung around him. You know what I'm saying? I've never been the type to, I had opportunities, but I've never been the type, let me go hang out with Nipsey Hussle. Like, nah, I didn't know that nigga before. I'm not going to act like I know him now and just try to be best friends with him. Unless something happens and it's organic. But, there are a lot of lessons to be learned about his death. But now it's like people, you got to have shock value, right? There has to be shock value in the shit you say. That's how you get the most views. So now everybody and their mama is trying to find a way. They have all these conspiracy theories, which is what people do. I mean, it happens with everybody's death. Triple X Tentacion, you know what I'm saying? There were all kinds of theories around his death. It happens. And it's the same with Triple X. I mean, people, of course we're on his head after he died, but they didn't talk about how he tried to change his life around before that. They weren't talking about how all the charity work he was doing before he died. But now, all of a sudden, everybody from all over the country is an expert in LA gang politics, and they want to put shit out there like they know every goddamn thing about how LA gang politics work. They blaming him, this, that, and the third, but it's just whatever you got to do to get that shock value, to get people to watch your videos and all that other shit. Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy how that happens. It's like, do we even really care that Nipsey Hussle was dead? Do we really give a fuck? Everybody's coming with an angle. This one nigga out of New York, out of Brooklyn, he called in on the Star show. Star got to do what he can. Star has to, keep the conspiracy thing alive. He sit up here talking about, I don't do conspiracy theories, I'm charged. And then, I'm got a conspiracy. The cops sent this guy to blah, blah, blah. Like, I thought you didn't believe in conspiracies. But when people call in your show and tell you, look, this brother was snitching. Nipsey said, you can't be around here with that snitching. He beat his ass. He came back a week later, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But no, that ain't good enough for you. You want to keep dragging the shit. Okay, no. But you're in White Plains, New York, aren't you, Star? Where you coming from with that? And then this cat from Brooklyn calls into his show and said Nipsey Hussle was snitching to the LAPD. What the fuck is wrong with you niggas, man? What the hell do you know about what Nipsey Hussle was doing out here in LA? Your ass is in New York. Okay? So you're gonna put this narrative out there. Nipsey Hussle was snitching to the LAPD. They sent a snitch to kill a snitch. All right? So they're doing that. And Star is just an example. I'm not trying to shit on Star. I know what he be about. So it's not really a knock against Star. Star has been very open about the type of shit he be on. He's a capitalist. But at least he can come out and be real with it. You know what I'm saying? He's real about what he's doing. So this dude from Brooklyn is saying that Nipsey Hussle was snitching to the LAPD. And I'm like, are you serious right now? And I wanted to call in and correct him, but I said, what's the point? People gonna run with what they want to run with. You know, you really can't waste your energy over shit you control. But what I can control is my platform and what I say. I'm a grown ass man, so I'm gonna say what I say. Nipsey Hussle was not meeting with LAPD to snitch. He was meeting with LAPD sheriffs, the LAPD chief or whatever the case may be, or a sergeant, to talk about how we can stop the violence in LA, like stop the gang violence, initiating truces. That's not, he wasn't going there to turn niggas in and get them locked up. He wasn't going in there to send people up the river. He was going up in there to change his neighborhood as much as he could. He invested in his neighborhood. You know, he trying to turn people's lives around. At the same time, he kept, you know, he was active, you know, to a degree. You know, but if you're gonna be in it, he was in it and he was being active just so he can be in it. I don't know. You know, that was his decision. And in the end, that decision caught up with him. But he did it so that he can stay humble and stay grounded. You understand what I'm saying? It's hard to listen to somebody that hasn't been in it and isn't in it and doesn't know the politics. That's like me trying to go up in there and tell the gangs, oh, this is how y'all supposed to do it. I'm not a gang member. I never was a gang member. So they're going to listen to people who are from where they're from. You understand what I'm saying? That's why Nipsey was in what he was in. But he wasn't going around murking people. He wasn't going around shooting up niggas with red shirts on. He was bringing blue and red together. You understand what I'm saying? If you listen to his last album, I want y'all to peep the lyrics. Some of the lyrics to his last album. They're very uplifting lyrics. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, he talks about, you know, the gang life. That's how he grew up. Just like Kendrick Lamar, much like me, was not in a gang, but he grew up around gang members. And he talked about that in Section 8 or Section 80 or whatever in a couple of his albums. He talked about the life he lived being around gang members. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he knew. And there was a message behind it. But all of a sudden, everybody's an expert on Nipsey Hussle and all this other shit and what happened to him and blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, I get it. I understand. You know, that's what social media is now. Social media and platforms like YouTube is about creating as much shock value as you can and bringing people to your channel for whatever reason that you're doing it, you know, whatever reason you're doing it. But, you know, I just wanted to say that, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying just don't sit up here and act like you're a Nipsey expert when you ain't been talking about it before. That goes for anybody. It's not, you know what I'm saying? There's so many platforms. You know, everybody all of a sudden they got their ears to the streets in LA. Oh, I got my ears to the streets in LA. Like, I got LA sources and shit. Like, you know, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know why that bothers me so much. You know, like, no one had their ears to the streets in LA when he was out here alive doing positive shit. You know, it was talked about by bigger platforms, bigger mainstream media platforms to a degree, but you know, just random YouTubers, you know, from all over the country, all of a sudden they're experts on everything LA and LA gangs and all that shit. Now look, yo, so I don't know if y'all hear me. The point is, these are the facts. A jealous dude from Nipsey's own neighborhood was trying to get on, You know, allegedly he was snitching. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey didn't want to be associated with that. Dude got mad. Okay? Guess what happens? People who work in at the post office get fired. They get mad, and they want to come back and kill somebody. That's that. I mean, you know. That's what happened. It doesn't just that doesn't just happen to gang members. Okay, it happens to. It can happen to. It can happen to hillbilly. It can happen to a white dude. It can happen to a corporate white dude. You know. It happens. Man. All right, y'all. I gotta get off of this. Oh. Were you had it?
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
give it back to you.
Hey, but that's good. You had it.
Yeah, I opened them all up.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, y'all. I'm just saying. Do we really care about Nipsey? I don't know. Or anybody that dies and we all of a sudden want to talk about him, and we want to, you know, I've been talking about him, but half the time I don't put his name in my freaking in my thing, and I'm not monetized. I'm just speaking on shit. You know what I mean? I'm just because I'm from LA, and you know, I know people who have been influenced by Nipsey Hussle in a positive way. Dude was very positive. You know, and when I can see people just keep shitting on him and subliminally shitting on him, like, come on, man. R.I.P. But nigga, it was your fault. Like, come on, bro. Like, have a little bit of respect for the dead. You know, oh, he was a snitch. A snitch got sent to kill a snitch. Nigga, you know what you're talking about. He wasn't going to LAPD to turn people in. He was going in there to talk about how we can make things better for our neighborhoods. Man, I'm out of here.